Congratulations on completing second term 2020. This has been another 12 weeks of miracles unfolding before our very eyes. In these challenging times we live in, not just in our country but worldwide, we cannot take anything for granted. I'd like to put in context what we've been experiencing just so we can appreciate the magnitude of what God has done for us. Let us consider what is happening around the world. An article by the World Economic Forum written on 13th of August 2020 titled, "Resetting the Way We Teach Science is Vital for All Our Futures," stated that, and I quote, "COVID-19 has forced more than 1 billion students and youth out of school, triggering the world's biggest educational technology implementation in history almost overnight. Schools and universities are scrambling to redesign their teaching and learning to allow for students of all ages to study from home." End of quote. Can you imagine 1 billion students and youth out of school? This is the new wave that has hit the shores of our lives, as individuals, as nations, and the world. The challenge is how quickly institutions and nations are adapting and riding this wave. Now God has very graciously helped us at Vine make this shift and adapt to the new mode of learning. It is not perfect by any standard, but it is a beginning. I recently also came across another article by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD 2030, and that article is called Future of Education and Skills Project. It exemplifies what the ACE philosophy is all about. ACE describes education as the training that involves and impacts the whole of life. It is not just the transference of knowledge, but it includes the training in wisdom and understanding. It is an interplay between school, home, society, and the church, all these working together. Now, in this article, it talks about the move from the known method of teacher-student mode of instruction to the new mode of personalized and self-directed learning. Let me quote from that article. It states that we need to replace old education standards with an educational framework that combines knowledge with the 21st century skills of creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration. This will not be achieved by simply moving classes from the chalkboard to a Zoom call, but radically transforming the way we teach and learn science and technology skills from one-way content dissemination and memorization to personalized, self-directed learning. In a rapidly changing world where we cannot predict what technologies will be ascendant in the future, we have to teach children to teach themselves. Students need not just knowledge, but also skills, attitudes, and values to thrive in and shape their future for a more empowered global citizenship. End of quote. Do you recognize some of the words that we are constantly talking about in ACE? Personalized, self-directed learning, students teaching themselves. God has shown us the way, and over the years we may not have fully appreciated what we were doing, but now we begin to see what He has all along been teaching us and leading us. One thing that really warmed my heart this term was seeing the pictures and clips that parents sent us, showing the children engage in home activities, some even in the trade that the parents are engaged in. These activities teach and train the children in ways PACES will never do. These are life skills that will prepare them for their own journey in life. This is a very exciting development. Finally, we are seeing the school connect with the family, the home, in a new way. This connection is critical for preparing them for their futures. They may never remember what a predicate noun is or a prepositional phrase, but they sure will never forget how to mix the feeds for the cows that give them maximum milk production, or how to make and cost that healthy drink of juice that they're going to sell for an income. While the world is grappling with how to make this connection between home and school, God has enabled us at Vika, even though in a very rudimental way. Have we started on it? Only God could have done this, and we are thankful. As we take a 3-week break, I'd like to urge you to take time to reflect on the last 6 months. Even though the clouds have been dark, sometimes really dark, God has shown His light and given us a silver lining. What has that silver lining been for you and your family? I encourage you to write these things down. They will be your testimony that you share with the children and your children's children. It will be your modern day story of Joseph, of Esther, of Daniel, of Deborah, of Israel moving from Egypt to the promised land, and on and on. It will be the story of God's faithfulness, His power to deliver, to heal, to provide, to carry us on His wings even when we could no longer walk or take the strain of life. Take time to reflect and talk to the children. Engage them in activities in the home that will train them in life skills. God has given you your children. Be deliberate in training them and enjoy them. Let them also enjoy your presence. We would now like to share some of the experiences from a parent's perspective and some of the highlights of the term. We look forward in faith to what God has in store for us. He alone knows what plans He has for us. Plans for good and not evil. Plans to give us a future and a hope. God bless you and have a great holiday.
Hi everyone. My name is Florence Namere Chibonike. I am a mother to Manuela Ashrama Taire in Acacia Learning Center and to Matthew Kisatesia in Hazel Learning Center, Mengo campus. I'm also a lecturer at Makerere University, and so since academic institutions are closed, it gave me an opportunity to work with the children. And in as far as ACE is concerned, I participated in the ACE Monitor Supervisor training that was conducted in January 2019. I've also occasionally visited the Children's Learning Center prior to this lockdown and closely worked with them, so that gave me some experience in navigating the ACE terrain. And however, the whole participation and supervision of students in this special homeschooling did not come without challenges. As I've told you, I'm a lecturer, and while institutions are closed, I'm still expected to do some work. So I'm still required to supervise students. We still have several meetings online, conducting research and every other thing that comes with an academic career. So the challenge that came out of this was that I found it a challenge to balance the children's supervision and do my day job. How I addressed that is that then I had to wake up a little earlier, give it an hour or two for my work, and then catch up with the children later on in their schoolwork. In addition, I also found challenges organizing the children's extracurricular activities, because then at the end of their schoolwork, I had to run back to my work. And so I've not had the time to organize any other extracurricular activities like SST projects and similar. And what have I liked most about this arrangement is closely working with the children, the opportunity to daily work with the children. This has helped us bond further. It has helped me learn and learn their different learning styles and appreciate them as individuals because these are two unique persons. So I've grown to appreciate how they learn and to work with them in as far as that is concerned. And so what is my takeaway for the parents is for us to enjoy the moment. This won't last too long. I know we are going into third term and we don't know whether it will happen again or even whether we want it to happen again. But let us enjoy the moment and let us take a day at a time. And finally, I would like to appreciate the school administration, first of all, the principal, Mrs. Lona Magara, for the continuity she's given us, enabling our children to have a continuity. As my daughter occasionally prays in her morning devotion, she thanks God for the opportunity to be in school even during this lockdown. I would also like to appreciate the teachers and the administration whom we closely work with on a daily basis. And thank you very much. God bless you.
My name is Diana Bena. I'm a mother to Amara Beneitwe from Oak Learning Center and Tangaza Sima from Mulberry Learning Center. And I have had the incredible privilege of supporting my children full-time during this virtual learning term. At the beginning of this year, I had an opportunity to take part in the supervisor monitor training that was hosted at Vine. And I had never imagined that I would have to use the knowledge this soon to support my children for an entire term. Even when I had done this training, my children have had a lot to teach me in regard to the learning center procedures, and they would be so livid about how I would initial at both the score strip and the page number, and I have learned so much. I have learned a lot about my children's hearts as I saw them give specific examples about practical situations that their faces allowed them to express. I've been able to identify my children's strengths and weaknesses and learned how to support them. My children have also had an opportunity to have more time to learn many other skills. You know, my son has been able to start teaching himself how to code. They have learned an array of more dishes to cook. They're able to cook much more than they were able to cook before. My daughter has learned how to ride her bicycle, and for a long time we struggled to have morning devotion together as a family because we had to beat the traffic, and now we're able to have morning devotion together every single day. Of course, it was not without its challenges. There are moments my daughter literally, broke down and cried because she was missing her friends. We struggled sometimes with some English concepts and went to Google, and the teachers, were never tired from supporting us to make sure that we got to the point where we understood what we were working with. I remember the very first time we were joining Vine in 2014. We had a conversation with Mrs. Lona Magara, and one of the things she said still stands out today. She said to my husband and I that parents are the primary educators of their children, and the school just comes alongside as a partner. I have never seen that come so real like it has come in this season. And Vine has been an incredible partner on this journey. Thank you, Vine. I want to thank the teaching staff at Vine for supporting us on this journey. It would not have been what it has been without them. And I want to encourage every parent that at the earliest opportunity, please make sure that you do the supervisor monitor training. And I want to encourage us with Psalm chapter 138 verse 8, which says that the Lord will perfect that which concerns me. Your love, O Lord, endures forever.
Congratulations on coming to the end of second term. It's been quite a year. We did not know whether we would actually reach this date, but I'd like to congratulate you all, parents and students, on coming to the end of this term. I'm reminded of a story that is written in the book of Mark chapter 4, where Jesus, after a very busy day, tells his disciples, get into the boat, let's cross over on the other side. Somewhere along the way, they hit a storm. It's surprising, very surprising to me that Jesus slept through that storm. I've been on a storm before on Lake Victoria, and I know what a storm feels like along the lake. But Jesus was asleep. He was asleep. They had to wake him up. They tried to manage it themselves. Remember, some of them were fishermen, so they used these kind of things. But the scale of the storm must have been enormous because they were terrified. They wake up Jesus. Jesus speaks to the storm calms down, and then Jesus rebukes them for their lack of faith. Now, it would look very unfair that Jesus rebuked them, but I believe the reason Jesus rebuked them was because he had already told them, we are crossing over to the other side. It's like they doubted his words. Now, in my walk with the Lord, I've found that when God shows you about something that he wants to do with you, he very often doesn't tell you about the storms that will come along the way. I have countless examples of situations where God has told us, do this, do the other. And then somewhere along the way, you hit such a storm that you begin to wonder whether you heard correctly. That is very common in our experience of walking with the Lord. This year, we began off with hopes of crossing over to the end of the year. But the whole world and our education system, our country, has run into a very, very severe storm. We thank God that he has enabled us to keep us moving and to finish the term. And I believe by God's grace we shall finish the year as well. As we think about the story that I've just shared, it's important to note that number one, Jesus was in the boat. I believe Jesus is in the boat with us as we go through these difficult times. But secondly, we need to also remember that he had told them that they'll cross over to the other side. I believe God will help us cross over to the other side. Now, this is just 1 year, but some of you are facing the challenge now of where your students or your children go next as your children finish. Whatever storms we've been hit by, we will cross to the other side. And I'm praying that as we break off for the term, you will enjoy the time of holiday. It's a strange time of holiday because it just means no pacework and no regimented times that you normally have. The children are with you, unlike the times when they would be at school. But let's also renew our faith in God. He has promised we'll cross the other side. I believe he'll bring us to the other side. So may God bless you. May God renew you. Children, I hope you really enjoy your time of break, and we look forward to starting again. God bless you. God keep you. God cause his face to shine upon you. Amen.